corredores en movimiento. El tiro a tercera. Gators on baseball. Yeah, you know the name.
Hey, this is Grant McCrae. You're listening to Skaters on Baseball.
This is the Christianator. I'm the Schmidtnator, and we do not support the Mecklinator. Javi, come on, you're killing me. It's Schmitty and Christian. We're back with another episode of Skaters on Baseball. Christian, tell me about this, because I only heard a little bit of the game today, but you were texting me like, did Javi just call him the Mecklinator?
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I love Joe Ritto, Ritto's rad. And then
sure.
They bring in this kind of carousel of characters. And I almost thought it was FP today at first. Right. And then you said it was Javi Lopez, and this whole Mecklinator thing just was like, come on, like that kind of stuff is reserved for like the cream of the crop guys. Like we can nickname those dudes. Like we could do a whole show on what we think we would, name guys that are in the starting nine, but like Mecklinator. That one turned my stomach. And, to be fair, the Giants played a great game today. They scored a ton of runs. It was good. They did some really good situational things, so spring's been pretty good, outside of a few guys that, Yaz has been ice cold and a few other guys that just haven't shown up. But yeah, they got 14 or 15 different guys on the roster with home runs,
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty excited. I mean, JB started off the show with my sentiments exactly. Yaz and Conforto will fight it off for worst outfield bat in the National League with contracts over $8 million. Look, I hate to rain on anyone's parade, and I get we're all trying, but Yaz's time it's come. And I think Matos has done everything he needs to do to be in that slot. And so, look, we got a new regime. Let's not do what the old regime did. Let's show the fans that what you're used to isn't what's going to happen moving forward. And that means put the guy that deserves right field, Luis, my main man, Matos, out there and right. Yaz, you can sit on the bench with the likes of Wilmer and whoever else, Wisely, Schmidt. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You got a list of the cuts. They made the initial cuts today, which I think is really interesting. The first two names I heard was Eldridge and Luciano, which is interesting because I'm like, is that just to get them start? Like, hey, you're not going to make it. Just get to practice and start working on what you need to work on. Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, we know with Eldridge, I mean, obviously he's 19 going on 20. Tremendous potential, but he's not anywhere near big league ready. And, we talked about it, like he needs to spend an entire year in the minor league system. Hopefully, you were saying maybe he needs AA. I think he could do well in AAA, but the majority of this season should be spent in AAA by him. And they shouldn't even consider bringing him up unless it's just a bad season and they want to get a look to see how far he's developed in the year in AAA and bring him up in September. Luciano, that one is like, this might be the end for Luciano in terms of the Giants organization, because he just couldn't bring it when he needed to. And I think he was on a real short leash this year. It was like, show us in spring or else,
I'm curious because I was thinking that if they sent him down first, like they're doing, that they're not going to be able to get anything. Like they're not going to be able to trade him. If they wanted to trade him, they would keep him up and try to showcase him and hopefully have some good moments. I don't want to see them pull a Taylor Rogers or even a Joey Bart with Luciano. I think you can hold on to this guy and at least develop him enough to where another team's knocking at your door and you're like, sure, but we need some return for some of these early draft picks. I mean, Hunter Bishop, what the hell is going on with this guy? He was a number. I was looking at my baseball cards because I have the top 100 Bowman prospects of 2022. And it was Matos, Bishop, and Ramos in a row. I think they were 52, 53, and 54. Hunter Bishop, this guy, what is his name? Von Brown. There's a couple guys. There's so many guys that are like the Bryce Eldridge before Bryce Eldridge. That's why I was like, dude, one of these guys is going to hit. And I'm not doubting Eldridge, but like, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know how it is with prospects. I mean, 90% of those guys are never actually going to make it as an established big leaguer and have a lengthy career at the major league level. It's just the statistical odds say are not in your favor, right? So you could be drafted out of high school, you could be this phenom, you could go off to college, and 2 years into college, the organization says, you're done with college. We want you in the professional league, right? But the reality is like we were talking about with Jeremy last night, like you think about it, 30 teams with a 25-man roster, that's an incredibly finite number of people who are the best guys in the world. And there's a lot of guys that are at the AAA level who are just right on the cusp of that, but there's no room. And so the Luciano thing is crazy because look at the outfield depth that the Giants already have. Okay. You got Lee, who's back. He's going to hopefully have a full season this year. He's back from injury. Looks like he's 100%. Ramos, we know what he's capable of. I was back in Matos last year, and I was pissed when he got set down because I think Matos has a potential to be a superstar outfielder for the Giants. I really do. And then we got Grant McCray, the speed burner. So Luciano is what? He's the fifth outfielder. Like he's basically the third of the backup outfielders, right? Because we know they're going to put Yaz in opening day, most likely, even though I don't think that's the right choice. So it's Yaz, Lee, and Ramos, and then that leaves the other guys. I want Matos in there.
Well, so does Bob Melvin, and so does Buster Posey, and so does Damon Minor, and all these, and Pat Burrell. Come on, we gotta send the energy. If they start Yaz after this debacle, hey B, shut it. Hold on. God damn this dog. Anyway, I'll be right back after a Coors Light. Oh no. But hold on. Let me deal with this.
I got a little segue right now for anybody that's in the chat. We're trying to identify this signature. This ball came to me from a friend with absolutely no explanation. It's got to be a player who's since 2015 because it's got Manfred's name on the ball. So if anybody recognizes that, bump it in the chat. We want to figure it out.
And I'm back like a rebel making trouble. Sorry about that. Hey, no, Matos needs to be in the outfield. Yaz, unless he does a bunch of stuff like from here till opening day, he's not doing it. Here's the thing that's been tripping me out. And maybe this is an old regime, new regime thing also, but we got a lot of young guys, right? And that's always been like, yeah, but he's only 19, right? They just got the guy in Dominican, the next, what are they calling him? The Met shortstop, whatever.
Joshua.
Yeah, but he's the next Lindor already. And he's like 17. We have Eldridge. He's 19. We had Harrison, who got lit up in the first inning today. He was 19. But my point being is like, I get getting a young guy so you can have this whole future, but is it maybe better to get a little more developed player that you're more certain is going to be a good player? It just seems like these young guys are coming up, and when they finally arrive to the pros, they aren't as good as what we were hoping they'd be in the pros. They're great in the minors, and they were great in high school. They were always great. But then you got David VR, you got Meckler, the list is so long of these Bishop, like I said, Von Brown, Arias, the list goes on. There's so many guys that have been touted as this like phenomenal guy that's coming. I haven't seen one. Ramos snuck in last year. Finally, Matos is here. Let's put him in. Luciano, I don't know. I don't want to be like, here you go, Pirates, but like, we can't just keep like next year, like we need to act.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, every team drafts super young dudes. That's what the draft is. It's finding those young guys with all that potential and drafting them out of high school or out of junior college or whatever it is, and you know that you're out of all the guys you draft, only a selected few are ever going to make it, right? The problem in San Francisco with this youth and all of that is player development side stuff, where they're not giving guys the opportunity to ramp up to the major leagues on a normal timeline. It's an accelerated timeline. And I think part of the problem is that under Farhan and the other regime was that there was a panic to try to make this team competitive again. And so they're trying to accelerate the development of these young guys instead of letting it happen organically and naturally. Right? Like, who knows what Luciano would be had they not puffed him up like he was the greatest thing. He was the next Babe Ruth, and that he was going to just astound the baseball world with his skills, right? At age 18 or whatever it was when they first started plugging him, 5 years ago. And so when you don't take the proper rate of acceleration for a guy through the minor leagues, a draftee, and bring him up, like, of course you're not going to get the quality product on the field, right? And I think that's where the problem is. I mean, everybody drafts these young kids. I mean, that's because that's what you do in baseball. You do the international draft, and you do the local draft, and it's all kids.
Well, yeah, but some people draft out of college and some people draft out of high school.
Right.
There's differences, and the Giants tend to get these like very young guys, whereas like other teams, maybe they get a 20-year-old, and then the Giants get a 17-year-old. And it's like, part of the problem for me too is like, it's kind of not fair, but like Luciano has been in the system for so long that we think that this guy is a bust, but he's still only 22.
Right.
Whereas if we got him when he was 21, he'd only be 1 year in our system and we'd have more patience. So
Right.
it's interesting with that stuff. But I also just think it's a lot more flip of the coin to be like, this 17-year-old that's not even a man yet is going to be the next Barry Bonds. It's like, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of hoping. It's just, it's interesting, right?
And I think that Joey Bart suffered from that. I think that Luciano has suffered from that. I think that there are other guys that have suffered from this being touted as the next great thing, instead of saying, look, kid, you got a lot of talent, you got a lot of potential. We're going to get you on a program and work you through the minor leagues and see how it works out, instead of like bringing the dude out to Oracle and like, announcing him in front of fans. Oh, look, tonight in the crowd, it's Marco Luciano. He's the next great thing. He's 18 and there he is in his jersey with his tie underneath and the whole, they make this big spectacle on TV and everybody's talking about how great he is. And dude, if it doesn't pan out, then he looks like a turd. And that's not fair. Like, I mean, I get bummed because the guy doesn't perform, but I have to understand, like, he's a kid, right? He's got feelings like anybody else. And like, that's got to be a rough thing to deal with when everybody's like, the expectations that are put on you are so high, and guys press to try to meet those expectations, right? Because they don't want to disappoint the organization that has like gambled on them. So yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the development more than the drafting. I mean, look, you bring in the experienced veteran guys through free agency. That's what you do. The young guys, that's part of developing your organization from the inside. Right. And look, in the past, I mean, all these guys, Matt Cain, Lincecum, Bumgarner, Posey, these guys were all drafted at a really young age too. I mean, Bumgarner pitched in his first World Series. He was 20 years old. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, go to Reno, you'll hit once in a while, but like the odds seem to be, I'm just saying, consistently, like I'm just, if you put the last few guys together, Harrison, Luciano, Eldridge, these guys are all under 21 and supposed to be phenomenal. It just seems to me that maybe that's part of the illusion, where it's like, yeah, these guys have 5 years to develop, instead of getting like, somebody that's like, even, I mean, Fitzgerald's a late bloomer. I think he's 27, but
Right.
like some of these guys are older, and then it just, you can tell, I guess, a little easier. Like Eldridge is a pretty big boy, but I bet he's still not really a man. Like, you know what I mean? But like some of these other guys, like Eldridge and Bumgarner they're not the average Joe, right? They're
Right.
like these big fucking beefy dudes.
Yeah.
But like Meckler, like what are we gonna do with this guy? Let's get him out of here. And we already got Wisely. We don't need 14 of the same dude.
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
Wisely or Meckler. I take Wisely. Bye. Like it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, Wisely actually has come up with a few key hits in his time with the Giants, so that's an easy choice. Yeah, I mean,
And Koss looks good. I agree. Me and Christian have both been saying, Chris Koss will make you jump, but
you know what else there is to like about the guy? First, he's raking in spring training, but he's the only infielder I've ever seen who has a full sleeve tattoo.
Yeah, he's inked for sure.
That's a trip, right? It's like, wait, what? Like that's what pitchers do, right? And just to touch on the age thing briefly again, like the same guy you might sign in the United States who's 17 years old, and he's really 17 years old. You go sign the same guy in the Dominican, he might be 17 on paper, but he's not 17. They're notorious for like,
who was it? Santiago Casilla, right?
oh,
he changed his name and his age.
Jairo Garcia, right? So like, yeah, it's just, it's an organizational thing and it's a development thing. And I think now with Randy Wynn running player development for the Giants, we're going to see some changes. I think they're going to put guys where they belong, at what level they belong at the proper pace, right? Like have a timeline for guys. And if they're not hitting the marks, then we slow the timeline down, and we don't put undue pressure on guys who are learning the ropes, like on the fly, because that's how it works. So, as far as the cuts go, I mean, Eldridge is a no-brainer to play in the minor leagues all year. Luciano is just we don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, he could, and how many options does he even have left at this point? Because he's been up and down a few times.
He has one option left. So it's make or break, really.
Yeah. So if we run down the rest of the list, there's two names that kind of stood out to me that I'm not super surprised that they cut them, mostly because there wasn't room, but not necessarily because of their quality. And that's Mason Black, who I think has shown that he's good. He hasn't been good recently. And then Cole Waits, who we both like, but he's looking
got to grow that hair back. He went Samson and Delilah on us,
absolutely.
Man. He cut his hair, lost his powers.
Absolutely. It was mostly all pitchers, Burgess, Kaiwei Tang, guys that we knew weren't going to make
good.
Yeah, they were guys that we knew weren't going to make the roster anyway. So I think there's a future for guys like Cole Waits and Mason Black in the organization. I think that at some point this bullpen is going to kind of age, and they're going to be looking to guys like that if they still have them around. So we'll see.
Well, it's did any catchers get cut?
Not yet.
So it's Stassi, Huff, and then that I can't even pronounce the other guy's name, Strzezinski or something.
Oh yeah, it's
Sagarte.
Sagarte.
Hey, Sagarte.
Hey,
all three of them are going to be battling out for. This is what drives me crazy too, and this is getting back to new regime, old regime, right? But it's like you've been talking about this for over a year. Our friend from Seattle that's played 11 games for $18 million. I don't think that was worth it, boys. What do you think? It's that shit drives me crazy though. It's like we ate Taylor Rogers. We kind of ate Bart. We're probably eating, I forget his name,
Murphy.
The catcher, Murphy.
We ate Haniger too.
Haniger, didn't we get Robbie Ray?
Yeah, but we were eating Haniger for a while when he was like got hurt and all that. But I mean, shit.
We need to do better. Who do you think is going to be the catcher? Do you think it's going to be Huff, the bruiser, or do you think it's going to be the other guy that's a little more savvy behind? He caught one of them caught Verlander before.
Stassi caught Verlander.
Stassi.
He's got more experience. Swings a limp noodle for a bat, though. His swing is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. And you know, his batting average has hovered around the 160 mark for years. So Sam Huff,
Logan Porter too. I haven't even seen him.
Yeah, Sam Huff had a good game today. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come. And they go with Stassi or Huff, they're going to get basically the same thing. They're going to get a soft hitting catcher who's got decent defensive skills, but not elite, right? And Bailey's got the elite defensive skills, and he's got elite left-handed batting skills and horrendous right-handed batting skills.
Well, here's the question I had, because Todd K brings this up too. I know there's a lot of issues with our other friend, Mr. Huff. Like, they don't want him anywhere near the ballpark. But if they get Huff, the backup catcher, can we do like a takeoff on the rally thong and just kind of forget Aubrey altogether, but the catcher pulls it out? I don't know. I mean, we got to put some ode to the rally thong. I mean, there was some magic in those panties, wasn't there?
Sure. and just got to bring some fun back. I think it's been grim for a few years, and everybody, like, we're seeing it out in the other stream communities where people are just so down and like, they didn't do anything in the off season. Oh no, they didn't get any better. It's like, no, this team is much better. And if you see it in spring, it's starting to click a little bit. They put up 11 runs today, right?
Yeah, it started out really grim, didn't it? It was a 5-run first inning against Kyle Harrison. They had to pull him with 1 out, but in spring, you can bring him back into the second inning. He looked a lot better.
He was.
But there's concern, right? I mean, Roop has not given up a run. I guess Birdsong, I don't understand how these minor league games work. It's very interesting that they stay in Scottsdale and play a game, and he gives up some runs, but like, does it count? I don't really understand all of that, but Roop has looked amazing. I know that. Yeah. Birdsong, I think, is the favorite. I think of the fans. I think of the administration up till today, Kyle Harrison leads the pack, I'm thinking, because he's a year ahead of those guys, and he's the lefty, and like, not for nothing, 2 years removed from the best left-handed prospect in all of baseball.
Right.
So all that goes into the equation, and he's, his family's here locally. His brother goes to St. Mary's. There's a lot of connection with this guy. He's a great dude. I see him all the time at the ballpark, always smiling, always stops and signs autographs for kids and does the things that you would expect out of a young professional. But I don't think Roop's going to get in there, but I think so far he's deserved that spot out of those 3 guys. Birdsong has the heat, right? He's got the 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
He can tick 100 too. Yeah.
And Harrison he's been in the low 90s, which is not where he needs to be. He wants to be more 95, 96 to, like, have full Harrison ability. So that's going to be interesting. And the backup catcher is going to be interesting. And then I don't think right field should be interesting, but they've shocked me before, and they could do it again. So the one thing you and I agree on too, though, that we shouldn't overlook is the RBI leader, Mr. Encarne, as we call him. Carne Asada has been hitting the cover off the ball. I love the way this guy approaches hitting. He loves to hit it to right field, which is always a sign of a good hitter. He waits on the ball and drives it to wherever it's going. He's got great exit velocity. He hits the ball very hard. He's a beast of a dude. He's always smiling. I say let's put him into DH and put Wilmer on the bench as a good pinch hitter in late inning situations where maybe the odds are looking like who. This is the problem I have with this stuff is you want your 1 through 9 to be better than your pinch hitters. So in my mind, it seems weird. Like, okay, so who's Wilmer going to pinch hit for and why? Like the better guy's already in the game, hopefully. Right. But maybe the odds and all these.
Well, it would boil down to, with pinch hitters, it's always about matchups, right? And the matchups will be the right-left matchup, obviously, is the dominant one. But then history, if Wilmer's got a history with a pitcher that they've got in the late innings of a tight game, and they know that he's rocked this guy, that he owns him in the past, he's going to get an opportunity to hit, right? We know that's how it works. Like, with the 3-batter minimum, especially, like now it allows the manager to sort of make those calls on pinch hitting that I think is, to their advantage a lot of times, because the other manager can't counter and yank that pitcher if he's only thrown to 1 or 2 batters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an interesting one, Misby, but I think
this is the one I was wanting to talk about.
Whisenhunt is probably not gonna get there based on a little bit of seniority, but also I think, like what we were talking about earlier with prospects being accelerated too fast through the system, I think Whisenhunt still needs some seasoning in the minor leagues. That's my take on it.
I think you're spot on. I think it would be a miracle for him to just jump over. I mean, there's a long line right now and there's one slot. It's like tomorrow night's topic is what? 3 dudes, one cup or something, 4 dudes, one position. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out, but unless somebody gets hurt, which please do not do that, there's only one spot and it's the 5th slot. And if you're a 2025 baseball guy, you're saying I need 2 lefties in my starting rotation, not 1 lefty and 4 righties. That's the thinking. So to me, that's why they'd be like, we want Whisenhunt or Harrison. Whisenhunt, has he ever even pitched in the pros? I don't think he's even been up yet. So I think that's a lot to expect out of him when you've got Birdsong that's done it, Roop that's done it, Wynn that's done it, Beck that's done it. I mean, you got like 5 or 6 dudes that have been in the pros positioning for this. I do think Beck is maybe going to be right next to Mr. Waits in Sacramento. I think he is the least of those guys for me.
Yeah.
Keaton Wynn, he's looked great until he got hurt. So I don't really know exactly where he's at physically, but to me, it's like Birdsong and Roop are the 2 top righties. And then obviously Harrison, I think, is the top lefty still over Whisenhunt. I just haven't seen enough of Whisenhunt. I've seen him in Sacramento, but I don't think that is comparable.
Here's a big what if. What if the Giants opted for a 6-man rotation like the Dodgers are doing?
So I was talking about that because I get up early, guys. I'm on KMBR just roasting them. 6 a.m. You see Skaters on Baseball and they're just, shut up, stop talking about football. It's baseball season. Anyway, what I was saying is 6-man rotation, and everyone's like, nope, Logan Webb will not allow it. And I'm like, no, you don't understand my 6-man rotation. It's a 5-man rotation with the 5th slot rotating. So you got Webb, Verlander, Ray, Hicks, and then Birdsong. And then the next time Birdsong's off and Harrison's in, or whoever the 6 guys are. And you can do, so in other words, there's 5 starts. And so Webb gets his 6, every 6 day Webb's in there or whatever it is. But the other guys, Verlander, Hicks, and the other, who is it? I don't know if Robbie Ray needs to be in there. I think Webb and Robbie Ray, unless proven wrong, can go every 5 days. And then the other 3, Verlander's older, so give him some time off if he wants it. He's the veteran, so obviously ask him. But I think you could do like 6 guys within a 5.
You could.
If that makes sense. They're not going to do 6. I promise that.
You'd have to see how that disrupts the rhythm of guys when it's like, if you're a starter, you're used to a 5-man rotation. You're used to pitching every 5th day. If you got a guy who's pitching every 10th day instead of every 5th day, that could totally screw up his rhythm, right? I mean, these guys are on very set schedules and all that. So,
How about somebody stole my brain? Hey, you guys got to excuse me. I just interviewed a guy that owned a company called Confusion, and it was 3 hours, and now I'm hopped up on coffee. So that's why I'm confusing everybody.
Confusion.
So we're going to see
openers.
No,
I've heard
it from multiple sources. They don't want openers this year. Buster's not a fan. Bomel's not a fan. Who's the new pitching guy? It's JP Martinez, right?
Yep.
Does he have an assistant that took over his position? Because I know Price is gone. And so the minute, it's funny, it's just like skateboarding, isn't it? It's like the minute somebody leaves, never liked that guy anyway. He sucked. He ruined everything, right? It's like so funny. Like Brian Price is he ruined Harrison. Like, it's like, well, let's see about that.
Did you know that he was actually a manager, right? Wasn't Brian Price a manager?
Was it he was, I don't know what team.
Was it
Cole Dunston? Come in Boston with the knowledge. Tell us.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Boston. Anyways, he was a manager, and then he kind of demoted back down to, there it is. See, a pitching coach, right? So, anyways,
the Reds. Rick Brown. You have won a Luis Matos card. Just email me, skatesonbase.
There it is.
Gmail.com. You're our first winner. You've got a Luis Matos rookie tops card on me. I'll mail it to you.
Okay. So
thanks for the info.
I want to bring this back up. So let's talk about this for a minute. Walker Doval, locks 100% health. Doval, I want to see a little more. I want to make sure that he's kind of retained himself from prior years to last year. Tyler Rogers gives a great different look. He's got to be a lock for the bullpen,
Yeah, he's kind of the Logan Webb of the bullpen, right? He throws so many innings.
Yeah. And then beyond that, it's basically you're looking at guys who are kind of could be starters, but they're not quite at the right level. And they're guys that are innings eaters. So like Keaton Wynn would fall into that category, I think. Tristan Beck, like I agree with you. I don't think Tristan Beck's going to be around on opening day on the first squad, right?
Although he does have a skateboard.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
And then whatever happens amongst the guys fighting for the 5 spot, definitely those guys are going to be in the pen. They're not going to get sent to AAA.
I don't think
and then
all of them.
We got Randy Rodriguez, who's like,
ooh, I like Randy.
I like him.
The lefty that throws 100. What's his name? Pagero or
Bivens is. I know you like Bivens. Bivens to me he's kind of he could go and it wouldn't be.
Bivens is on the edge for me. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, and then as far as some of these other guys they picked up, they haven't looked good at all.
Who's that?
I'm blanking on the guy's name now. His last name starts with a G, but he came into a couple games in spring and just got rocked. Older dude. It'll come to me. But anyways, I mean, it seems like it's pretty full up in the bullpen already too,
Well, and that's what you like is like the competition. Oh, Garza, Cole Dunston.
There it is.
Cole Dunston is a winner. Cole Dunston, listen to this. You have won a Kyle Harrison card. That's right, kids. Kyle Harrison, his rookie tops 35th anniversary card. Email me your address and it's in the mail.
Oh, so you saw the text about the Reds games. What are you leaning towards? The day game? Night game's better for you, right?
I'm at all of them. Come on. I'm already there. It's like you guys decide when you'll be there and just let me know. I'm already there. I go to every game.
I'm going to be up for any of those days. It's basically, I think it's about Curtis then. because I'd be down for any of them.
Yeah, I think he was gonna ask his son because his son loves baseball too. So and he's cool. He's like a real tall guy. He like dwarfs Curtis.
Oh, the
It's
more the
so
merrier.
funny.
The more
Yeah,
the
yeah.
merrier.
We'll definitely do it.
Yeah, and we should put it out on here when we know which game we're going to and try to get some of
Yeah,
our
let's posse up, everybody.
chatters all
I
hang
think
out.
apparently there's gonna be lots of empty seats, so we can all like corrugate into section 123, sit right there next to the flagpole, scoot down. Shh, don't tell anybody, but nobody sits there.
Look at this.
I'm coming to spring training Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So pumped. Cole, are you gonna hang out with Dan down there? Scottsdale, who you gonna go see? The Giants every game, and who are they playing? Do you know what's going on? I am jealous.
Yeah.
I tried to go down there. I wanted to go down there the first week because that's when everybody's kind of like not sick of like, they're going to sign autographs and they're happy. It's all new. So I always like trying to go the earliest. So they're still in, by the end of spring training, they're over it. They're just like, God damn, blah, blah, blah. But I bet it's going to be amazing. Like anytime you're in Arizona this time of the year, it's the best weather that they have. It's so good.
Well, actually, did you see the wind the last couple days? If I was heading down to Arizona for spring training, I'd be taking goggles, eye drops, some kind of a kerchief over my face, and
some Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggles.
Dude, seriously, the wind was like, you see these guys chasing pop-ups around, like, well, he's camped under it, and all of a sudden you run 50-yard dash to get it. It was nuts, man. All the dust blowing around. So,
Cole, who are the Dodgers playing? Because I'm going to give you a little tip. In the future, even though you're going to see the Dodgers, you don't say that. You say you're going to see the team they're playing. That's right. And then you get to pull it off a little smoother because in these territories, we don't like that blue team. We don't like them.
Yeah. It's
Arizona like, Dodgers. That'll be a good game.
It could be fun.
I think Arizona's going to give them some grief this year.
Yeah. Yeah. The Giants are going to give them a little grief this year. How about that? But yeah, it's like that T-shirt. It's my favorite team is the San Francisco Giants, and whoever's playing the Dodgers today.
Yeah.
So cool.
I love that.
Have you been jumping in on some of the other channels recently, or you've been kind of staying off it?
I've been, like I said, I'm on KMBR now. I've been like loving to be on KMBR because there's a few guys on there, and I was trying to hype them up to come to see our show tonight. It's fun in there in the mornings, dude. Everybody's like coffee, like the coffee crew, we're all waking up, and then somebody will come in and talk shit on Webb or something, and then he just gets roasted. Like everyone's like, fa-fa! And I'm like, that's the energy I like. We're fans of our team, not fucking dissers. Come on, man. You cannot disrespect Logan.
Are you talking about their live stream that's on YouTube? Is that what you're?
Yep.
Okay.
It's what's his name? Marcus and Murph. Yeah, Murph and Marcus.
Yeah. I love Marcus. Marcus is the best.
Oh, Marcus is great, except for he wears a damn Santa Cruz hoodie every day. I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? You got Deluxe and Thrasher in San Francisco. Do you know this? Like Santa Cruz is on the other side of the hill, bro. Come on.
Dude, next time
I know he's a Sunnyvale guy, though. I get it.
When I'm up at the end of the month, I'm going to make another Looters trip into Deluxe, and I'll make sure I get Marcus some goods from Deluxe.
I know. That's what I told him. I was like, I got you Thrasher gear, San Francisco. I could say Thrasher, San Francisco under it instead of Santa Cruz that has just a single A basketball team.
So who's running the chat board on there? Is it Overnight Dave, or do they have somebody else?
No, it's what's his name? Young Tone, man. And I'm a fucking Young Tone fan. Young Tone's the shit. What is Young Tony asked? I don't know. I'm turning on this a little bit because I'm feeling like if we get the crew, like we might get more Giants because we all know KMBR does not support the Giants enough. Like tonight, they're like 6-7. They're talking about, well, what do you think? Do you think Brock Purdy's going to resign? What's going to happen with Debo? Like all these hypothetical football questions. It's like, dude, football just ended. It's fucking over, bro. Giants now, Dub Nation now. Let's talk about what's happening. Let's not hypothetical football. I hate fucking. It's like, who are the Giants going to get? Who are the Giants going to get for 4 months? Nobody wants that. It's like, what happened today? Who's going to make the team? Let's go. It's on. Opening day is like, what, 25 days away? Let's go.
You know, how good would it be if we were somehow able to get to Kruko, Kuiper, and Will Clark and say, listen, when they have you guys on live at 7:30 in the morning, you do this thing, why don't you light these fuckers up because they're not talking baseball enough, man. It's baseball season. Like, you imagine Will Clark going on a bourbon
Will
rant
would be the guy to do it.
and just be like, you know, this is the flagship station of the Giants. Giants baseball, not off-season 49ers nonsense. What? Yeah, see, there it is. There it is. See, this is why I haven't been in there. Like, I used to listen to KMBR every morning when I got up. What, you know, especially during the season, it's like they're going to talk about the Giants, the hum babies, the bum babies, all that shit, right? Went full boycott. What?
It's hard to point at you because you're actually over there, but this
Yeah, you
is
gotta
on reverse. No, I was going to say, dude, this is kind of why we started the show, right?
Yep.
You and I woke up every morning drinking our coffee, texting each other, listening to KMBR. It didn't take long before we were like, dude, what the hell are we listening to? And then we were talking so much baseball every day. We're like, we should just do this for fun. And that's where we are, waiting for 20 people in our chat.
Yeah. Yeah, not only were we texting about baseball, but we were texting about what we were texting about baseball to KMBR, taking screenshots like, look at how they responded to this.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, man. And what was great about it, at least, is whoever was it, Overnight Dave, whoever was handling the text line at KMBR was way more knowledgeable about Giants baseball than the guys on the air, right? Especially when it was Murph and Mac, like, God.
Kerry Crowley, I gotta agree with you, Cole. Like, that's the dude that knows a lot, and you can hear it in his heart that he has the passion for the Giants and he wants them to be good. He's one of us, right? Like, he's a dude that he knows his stuff, and he knows that KMBR is the flagship station. So let's talk baseball. Let's talk Giants. And I don't know. This other one I wanted to put up because I got the answer. That would be this Saturday, right here at Oracle. And this is a question I have for the genius marketing down there that keeps doing nothing like it year after year. We know trilogies never work. So the third year is a complete disaster, especially when it has reference to the past regime. This was a slogan that started with Gabe Kapler and Farhan. Neither are here. So let's get rid of any ties to those guys. Anyhow, this weekend over at Oracle, free. We don't charge like the Dodgers do. Fan Fest. It's our 5th Fan Fest of the year. And I like the Napa, the where's the other one? San Jose, Sacramento. I like those. But what I don't understand is why the one at Oracle isn't earlier also, so that you get some players that play now. What we're getting JT Snow, we're getting Sergio Romo, we're getting past guys, which is cool. But come on, this is San Francisco. This is the ballpark where they play. Don't we want to sell tickets to the games? Let's get Adames in there. Let's get Jung-Hoo Lee in there. Let's get some guys that's going to bring people out. And all of a sudden, that's how this momentum starts building. I mean, to me, these things are so goddamn obvious, and they just keep fumbling.
Well, maybe they're hoping that they're going to make some more cuts, and then the Mecklinator will be there to sign stuff, right?
I don't think so. I think Mecklinator, to be honest, I gotta put another thorn in my boy Meckler. He doesn't even sign at AAA. He's too cool for school. I've been up there and I've seen him look over and just keep walking. It's like, dude, do yourself a favor and make a friend. Like, you don't have that many fans, I promise you. Like, do yourself a favor and sign it. What is it, 5 seconds that you put your name on somebody's ball or card or whatever? I don't understand that, especially at that level. You can't come out like that.
Yeah. I think it's just a ginger midget problem, really, because every ginger midget is just kind of a jerk.
I was telling my wife that the other day. I was like, do you know any cool gingers? I know one, but I've met a lot. Here's my prediction. Daniel S. Light the beam. Are you in Sacramento? Lighting the beam. Warriors above you guys. We're gonna be in third, bare minimum. Padres fourth, Rockies fifth. You can just pencil those in, and then third and second, Arizona Giants. I don't know. I don't even want to say third, because second could happen. And you know what? If all works out in my favor, first could happen. Anything's possible, guys. Tommy, what is it? Shohei Ohtani John?
Tommy
Somebody
John.
has to beat that. That one's tough to beat. Shohei Ohtani John.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, it's a new year. It's a new regime. It's new, a lot of new faces, a lot of young faces. And I think you can't count the Giants out, man. I got a good feeling about it. I do. I really do.
I do too. I love what they could do. And it's going to be, let's see if they do what they could do, which is Matos, right field, Gerard, DH, Wade, first base, the majority of the time. All the other things are pretty much penciled in except for the fifth starter. So let's see that. But if you bring in Yaz and you're playing Wilmer at second base or something, it's like, oh no, like there's just like signs that you kind of have to like follow and be like, hey, we got to put our pride aside. I know we pay these guys way more money, but they're not as good. They have to sit on the bench. Babe Rock's in the motherfucking house.
Right. That's right. So listen, small sample size, but once again, guess who's leading on base percentage in all of baseball right now?
Lamont Wade.
Fucking A, Lamont Wade. Late lunch Lamont, dude.
But how many at bats?
Enough to be the leader.
What does that mean? Is he qualified?
Well, he's played in almost every spring training game.
He didn't play today.
He didn't play today, but he's played in most of them.
I want to know how many at bats he had. Is he above Gerard and Encarnacion?
Not in terms of his slugging percentage, his batting average, but his on base, because he's walked a ton.
Yeah, he's got that eye.
Yep.
I'm just worried about what happened to Lamont Wade. Did he lose power because his legs went out? Like, he doesn't hit the ball with authority like he used to.
Well,
and if you're going to walk every time, we could just get Brandon Belt back. That's how I look at it.
He struck out more than he walked, though. I swear, he's the only guy I've ever seen in baseball that worked that many 3-0 counts to a strikeout.
And that dumb look where he just was like, no. You know, with this new rule where you can challenge, the Belt would be all on that, like every play. Oh man, I'm not a Brandon Belt fan, in case you haven't guessed.
They were abusing the umpire big time in that game today, because they must have challenged 20 pitches in that game.
Were they right most of the time?
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't understand today. I kind of figured out something. Is this true that you get 2 challenges, but if you challenge and it's correct, then you didn't lose a challenge?
Correct.
So you get 2 challenges that are wrong, basically.
Yeah.
You can, okay. Wow. So you could challenge like 10 times if you keep getting it right.
Yeah, if you're making the right call.
So that's kind of up to it's interesting.
What they should do is, if they're going to bring it into the major leagues, they should make it so not only do you have to tap your head, but you have to do the thing where you rub in a circle. See, you and I can both do it. A lot of people can't do it.
I can't chew gum and yeah. It's those are funny. Yeah, I think that I was looking at the top 30 prospects also, and I saw Bryce Eldridge number 1, obviously. Carson Wisenhunt was 2, and Joshua, that kid they just drafted, is number 3. So he's above James Tibbs
already. Wow.
Yeah. I don't even know who Johnny Level is. So that was the top 5. It's Eldridge, Wisenhunt, Joshua Gonzalez, James Tibbs, and Johnny Level. And I guess Johnny Level is a shortstop also. So in case Francisco Lindor doesn't work out, we got Johnny Level headed, and maybe that will work. But I'm interested in James Tibbs. I want to see more of this guy. I think that this guy and that guy Dakota, I was surprised Dakota was on this list. I think those 2 guys are coming. I think they're going to be the Matos of next year or the year after. And I think this farce that the Giants don't have a great minor league thing, I think we're about to just burn everybody down. I think it's going to just it's like the coals are like they've been lit and they're all about ready to, and you're gonna just see. I mean, we got a lot of dudes on the team that are like Harrison. If he was in AAA, he'd be dominating, right? It's like Birdsong, Ramos, Matos. There's some guys that we got that are from our developing. So I don't know. Absolutely. I get it. The Padres have the Padres and Dodgers, one of the best developing squads, but we're not last.
Yeah. So this is, I agree with this 90%. If you scroll back, you got to go a long ways back in my Instagram, but I think I nailed this one. I have a still shot of him hitting that home run, and I just put the word Beltway because it's DC. It was like, dude, I was at a bar in West LA, the San Francisco Saloon that's not there anymore. Damn it. I used to go watch all the Giants games, the World Series games, everything there. And I was there for that whole game, and I was having to really moderate my beverage consumption through 18 innings. So it was crazy. And then the one game, the rain delay that they had, I think it was it in Cincinnati where they had the rain delay in 2012 or whatever it was? I stayed in the bar all day. It was like a 3 or 4 hour rain delay, that one playoff game.
It was either St. Louis or Cincinnati.
Yeah. I was like on my 6th order of hot wings and 3rd Bloody Mary. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to be here a while.
Dude, I was in LA in a hotel by myself when Buster Posey hit the home run against the Cincinnati.
Oh, against Latos? Yeah.
Dude, and I was like yelling. I was like, yeah, like so hyped. And I was like, where the fuck am I? I'm in LA in a hotel by myself. I'm so bummed.
That's one of the greatest Giants moments in history, that home run. You know,
Ishikawa, there's a bunch.
Yeah, that one though, he hit the ball off the facing off of Latos's name, right? And the fact that Latos was signing those balls, I hate SF, before that was just.
That's why, like, this clown from Sacramento, what's his name? First baseman, big guy. I think he was on the Pirates. Shit, I forget his name, but he was dogging the Bay Area, and I'm like, dude, you're from Sacramento, like
Rowdy Tellez.
Yeah, Rowdy Tellez. Like when that guy comes to the Bay Area, everybody better boo his ass like he's Jose Altuve.
Who signed him? He was a free agent this year, right?
He did get signed by somebody, but
okay.
Yeah, I forget who it was. Was it the Pirates? Maybe I forget, or he was on the Pirates and he went somewhere else, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Rowdy's on the shit list now, I guess.
And then what's up with Wasabi? Is he hurt or something? I haven't seen. This guy hasn't played much recently.
Who?
He's the infielder guy that we got from Tampa, or was it Tampa? Yeah, Tampa. He's like a shortstop. I think his name.
Oh, Wasabi.
Yeah, but he's hotter than Wasabi. He's
Yeah.
Basavi.
I think he's only gotten into maybe 2 games and didn't play a lot. Might have 1 hit. Not really sure.
So,
mean,
but he
I ha-
didn't get cut.
Yeah, I haven't been paying too much attention to the guys like that because I've been trying to see what the guys that I project to be potential starters, like what they're doing in spring is what I'm paying attention to more, and the little things, the situational things with guys that we expect to be on the roster, like what are they doing in situations that they didn't do last year that's better? Because last year, situationally, they were atrocious. We know that, There it is. Yeah. My steering wheel has taken some abuse over the years for sure. The Brian Johnson home run in 97, I was on the Bay Bridge driving home from Deluxe, and I was beating on my steering wheel, and everybody was honking. It was great.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Ready? Can I make this work? Sometimes. Okay, here we go. There we go. The next cuts for the San Francisco Giants. Schmitty's prediction: David VR, Meckler, Lamb, and Basabi. And I probably spelled Basabi wrong. I think there's an A in there again.
Yeah.
What do you think? You got any other additions, or you think any of those guys aren't going to get cut?
For some horrible thing in the back of my head says Meckler's going to be there right till the end.
I could see that, but
and they're going to make some. They're going to make some overture about, oh man, it's so hard to send him down, and it's like, no, it isn't. He should have been gone already.
This literally happened today, and it's happened before. The guys are talking while Meckler's up. They're talking about how he's such a great contact hitter and he never strikes out. And then he struck out while they're talking, and then they're like, that hardly ever happens. I'm like, dude, you guys hyped this guy up. In his first 5 at bats, he struck out in the pros, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he was striking out all the time. I'm just like, dude, who watches these guys? How does this hype begin?
Yeah. It's that one I just don't understand at all, because I thought he was what's his name? Have I forgotten his name? Because I'll be really psyched. Kapler.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was Kapler's little what little buddy, his little honcho, but now he's still around the organization, so I hope he gets cut.
I think Todd K has an interesting question about Romo dogging Bochy and never dog Bochy. What you never do is dog Gabe Kapler. Just ask the redheaded relief pitcher that went, and then he was out of there. The next day he was gone. Zach Littell was the name.
Yeah, and guess what Littell went on to do? He's a starter now where he's playing.
For Tampa? Where is he? Miami or Tampa?
I think he's gone to 2 different teams since he left the Giants, but he's a starter now.
He lost his cool, and Gabe said, get out of here. I thought Zach Littell was pitching pretty well for us.
Well, he was great. And then that game, Kapler just left him hanging out there, let him just get torched. And then he comes out like, with 2 outs. He comes out, and Littell was basically like, you're going to leave me out here to deal with that shit, and now you're going to pull me? Like, I get it. I thought it was Bush League of Kapler to do what he did. First of all, he should have pulled him like 2 or 3 batters sooner and to leave him out there to get torched and then come get him after he gets the second out of the inning was like, oh, man, that was lame. So, yeah, Misby says starter in Tampa Bay. So
yeah, that's right. And that's funny. You want to know what's funny about that? Kapler's in Miami, right?
Yeah,
okay, because I was like, how funny would it be if Kapler came to Tampa?
And he may not be in Miami anymore because they had a house cleaning there. Remember, like John Jay.
That's right.
Left and ended up back in St. Louis with the Cardinals where he played. So
friend of the show, John Jay.
Absolutely friend of the show. Yeah, and a skateboarder, which makes it even better.
Yeah, you guys, we didn't get to 20. What happened, man? We got to like, I think 18 or 19. We got up there, but we're getting closer. I guess I got to do more KMBR recruiting.
Look at this. Is he cooking steaks in the wood or
That's
sausages?
hamburgers. He's the hamburger man. My hand is massaging the meat. Oh, God, that guy was like hand porn. It was insane.
Yeah, there's what he only ever got ejected once in his whole career with the Giants, right?
Yeah, I think you were the one that kind of brought that to my attention, that you're like, this guy doesn't go to bat for his players.
Yep. I felt like the most he ever did was bark from the dugout, and it's like your manager's got to have your back, man. When the umpire's screwing you over, like you got to be willing to go out there and take one for the team and get guys fired up. You know,
he wasn't afraid to bark at the media, though.
Oh yeah.
I just want to know if you understand what you asked me.
Well, I understand the question, but do you understand the question? Well, I asked it, dipshit. Of course I understand it, but do you understand? Yeah, that guy was a tool, man. You know.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate that they won 107 games in a year that he was the manager, because in some people's eyes it was like, oh, this guy's a genius. I hated the guy even when they were winning 107 games. So
yeah, I thought, to be honest, and I have to be honest, the first year that we had Farhan and Kapler, I thought, oh, it's a whole new thing. Like, and I kind of drank the Kool-Aid. And then I was watching interviews and I was like, this guy's weird. It's kind of cool. And then all of a sudden I was out. Anthony Merkovich, who is in our fantasy baseball
he's
league.
in.
He signed up last night. We only have room for one more. It could be you out there. Tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your family. You know what I'm saying?
Well, obviously we have a podcast, so y'all need to tell your wife, tell your kids, and tell your children to subscribe to Skaters on Baseball.
To sign up for our fantasy baseball league. It's going to be fun.
So what's you got any ideas about when we're going to be drafting?
Yeah, I think it's a week from this weekend. It should say on there. I put a little thing in the whatever. There's like a kind of a chat or whatever, and asked if that worked for everyone. And so far I haven't heard any objections. So I was going to just leave it unless it doesn't work for, we can always move it. Cool. Yeah, March 16th. I think it's a Saturday or a Sunday.
Cool. We're gonna do it. We got to try to do a live stream while we're doing that. We can.
That's 2 days, by the way. That's 2 days before the Tokyo games.
You gonna watch those?
I guess I don't know. I want to say no, but I'm really fiending baseball, so I might say yes. Who are they playing?
It's Dodgers Cubs.
The Cubs. That's my boy Coleman's team. I don't know. I would love to see the Cubs just beat the out of them in Japan, because every moto out there is gonna have Dodger blue on. Yamamoto, Sasaki, Otani, like they got the whole market out there. But imagine if the Cubs came in and just beat them up in Japan. It would be great.
Good. If Seiya Suzuki put a bad one on them too, that would be good.
Yeah, so the Cubs, yeah, that's true. I guess Roki pitched really good last night. It was all over the headlines of my feeds and stuff, and I was like, I'm not even looking.
So
I don't care. It's only spring training. It's just practice. It doesn't count.
That's right. No, man. Well, if anybody wasn't here earlier, we're still trying to solve the mystery of this.
Oh, I wasn't here earlier.
Yeah. No, when you went to quiet the dog down.
Yeah.
Still haven't figured this one out yet.
I think it's Hundley, Todd Hundley. I'm going to go with Todd Hundley, and he made the T look like an O.
Really?
I don't know. It looks like Hundley, but then there's an O or a D in the front. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's confusing.
It looks like HLY. H space something LY, I think. But
yeah, it's weird. I look at it every time I see something different, And then I think you said Utley, and I was like, no, if it's a Chase Utley ball, it's going in the trash.
Hold it up again. Anthony says he's got a good. He wants to check it out. He see. Here's the problem for me. We don't know what team it is or what year.
Well, we know it's 2015 to the present because Manfred's name is on the ball.
It's in the last 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's only 30 teams times 40 times. That's a lot of different players.
So it came from a guy who lives in Orange County. So I was doing a deep dive on the Angels, the Dodgers, looked into the Padres a little bit. I haven't figured it out yet. It's a mystery. And I told him, don't tell me because I want to figure it out. I want to see if I can solve the riddle. But
does he know who it is?
I'm sure he does.
Okay.
Sure he does. Because he texted me and he's like, hey, what's your mailing address? I got something I want to send you. And I was like, okay, cool. I figured it would be like some Hawaiian pool service stickers or something like, and I get back and there's this box and I open it up and I'm like, whoa, it's a signed baseball. What the hell? And it is a real signed ball. It's not one of those replica printed ones. I can see the ballpoint impression right on it. So we'll see.
Well, since we're doing that, in case you guys missed it last night, or the other night when we were doing the Cincinnati Reds, I just got to hold up this.
Yes.
Is it? Can you see it? Or is the light kind of... There we go, right?
Yeah. Charlie Hustle. That's the best. He's how many did he sign like that, you think?
Oh, so many.
Thousands.
I would guess so, because he would go to like Vegas and conventions and just sign that all day. But he had like 4 or 5 different ones. There was like, I think one of them was something to do with someday I'll make the Hall of, or dude, if he signed one, I'll be in the Hall of Fame after I die. I need that, like whole, because this whole like put him in after. Yeah, see, Chase Headley, maybe that's what Robert. Did you see that?
Yep.
I'm
looking it up right now.
Chase Headley. I don't know. It looks like an O though, or a D, but I guess it could be a C. That's like crazy. That's right, Anthony. Pete Rose, baby. He needs to go into the Hall. You know who gave the name Charlie Hustle? This is a great question. Christian,
Don't think it's not Chase Headley.
Oh, you looked it up?
Chase Headley, yeah. I'm all over it, man. I've been digging deep to try to figure it out. Somebody's gonna figure it out.
I'm guessing Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle named Pete Rose Charlie Hustle. Wasn't he like a mentor in the early days or something like? Yes, Mickey Mantle did.
Yep.
I got it. Wait, I think no. Trump didn't put Rose in the Hall of Fame. Come on, Todd. We don't talk politics over here. We're trying to keep our smile on.
Oh, man.
He might have pardoned him, but he definitely did not put him in the Hall of Fame. But Manfred has discussed that he's reopened the discussion. I think he's been talking with Pete's family. And as we said the other night on the show, if I'm the family, I'm like, suck it.
Hey, so what do we got on tap for tomorrow? Who are the Giants playing tomorrow?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think, Robert, we are meeting at this spot, but let's look into this. Let's see, sfgiants.com. They got the 11-5 today, and tomorrow we got the Chicago White Sox, one of the worst teams in all of baseball. Should be an easy game for new phenom Verlander, who's going up against Andrew Cannon out there in Chicago. But yeah, Verlander will be on the mound, so it'll be interesting to see. I gotta tell you guys, I've heard rumor. I don't know if it's official yet, but apparently it's official. Logan Webb is our opening day starter. but apparently Verlander may be our number 2 starter so that he can pitch the home opener, which I'd be excited about. I love Robbie Ray, but I'm anxious to see Verlander pitch in a giant. I got to be honest. I don't know. Everybody's hating on it if they are, whatever, but I'm excited. I want to see this happen. And I'm rooting for him to pitch a good game too. I mean, I think he's gonna have a good year. This guy's a competitor. He wants to bounce back from last year.
Yeah, and if nothing else, he wants to wipe the stink off of 2012, right? Like he's gonna walk into Oracle and be like, the last time I pitched here didn't go so well. I need to fix that. So I'm looking for
That's
a little
crazy that
Verlander
he hasn't
redemption
pitched there.
Yeah.
In 13 years has it been?
I don't think he ever pitched in between then.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy, right? That's wild in the streets. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of people that might be having to apologize, which no one ever seems to do. But there's always a lot of shit talking happens before anything else happens. And then when things start happening, the people that were shit talking, when they see that the things they were talking shit about aren't happening, I never hear them come back and say, hey, I gotta, give him my flowers. I thought it was going to be different and he showed me wrong or anything. That never happens. Yeah. But there's a lot of guys that like to flap about like, oh, this guy sucks. It's not going to work. It's like, okay, well,
listen, for better or worse, he's our guy now, right?
That's right.
He's our guy.
And Crawford even gave him his number. I mean,
right.
What more do you want?
Right. He's our guy. So like sink or swim, we've got him for a year. And the reality is most guys that the Giants would pick up in free agency that sign from other teams, you'd say, dude, he's our guy now, right? There's some Dodgers players, if the Giants sign, we'd be like, he's never going to be our guy. Like if Justin Turner came over, he's never going to be our guy. If Puig came over, he's never going to be our guy. Verlander could totally be our guy.
That's right. And Kate Upton could totally be our girl.
That may be more likely. That may be more likely.
Right. If you see me not sitting in my seat when Verlander's pitching and you see me walking up and down aisles, kind of looking around, probably looking for her. I'm going to find her. I know where she's going to sit.
Listen, if he's pitching the home opener,
selfie's coming before All-Star break. I predict it.
Yeah. If he's pitching the home opener, she'll be there. Now, if she's up in the Cloud Club, then good luck. But
but she has to get into the ballpark, and that's where Schmitty's selfie comes in. Hey, baby,
Schmitty's on that
Welcome to San Francisco.
On that rope line. What do you think? You think he drives in or takes an Uber?
He's gonna drive in because my guess is he's gonna live on the other side of the bay. He's gonna probably live in Lafayette or something.
Okay.
And because he has a family, right? Like he has kids.
I think so. What do you think he drives? Land Rover?
Nah, he's gonna be like Blake Snell, dude. He's gonna have like 4 cars. He's gonna have a Cadillac. He's gonna have like a Lamborghini, and he's gonna have like a Range Rover, like a big like mountain car. He's gonna have every awesome car for every occasion. Blake Snell, that motherfucker came in some sick rides. It's like, it's not just one either. Like the next day he's in a different car and you're like, oh, Johnny Cueto used to do that. Johnny Cueto had some sick cars.
Yeah. Well, here's my wish for Blake Snell and his automobiles. I've caught so many screws in my tires living down here because it's just, dude, it's like a viral epidemic. These people there's just screws in the street everywhere. I hope Blake Snell gets a flat tire every single day that he plays for the Dodgers, dude.
I'm in.
The whole time.
I'm in on that. I send that energy wherever it needs to go and I back it.
Hell yeah. There's a tire shop right down the street from here that they've done all my repairs on my tires for 20 plus years, right? They have a giant jar in their waiting room that's full of all the stuff they pulled out of people's tires, screwdrivers, scissors, railroad spikes, like a million nails and screws and whatever you can think of, it's in there, man. It's nuts.
Hillsboro will be the destination, private and close to the city. Tell that to Chapman, Logan Webb, a lot of guys. They live in Lafayette. It's just a bridge jump. Hillsboro is another option. Barry Bonds lived up there.
That's right.
And so
Right.
did the guy that was on the Warriors, Wiggins. He was living in Hillsboro. But I don't know. They were showing judge houses in Hillsboro when they were trying to court him. But apparently he went elsewhere.
Yeah.
Hillsboro is not a private. You can get into Hillsboro, though.
Well,
It's not a gated community. The
but-
houses are gated, but like you can drive up the streets. I mean, I could go right up to Ricky Henderson's house when he lived there, and it was like the sickest house is the one with like the Flintstones or whatever's going on in front. They have the dinosaurs and all this stuff. When you're going over the bridge, you see it. You're like, and it looks like.
Oh, you talk about the moldy mud house that you see from 280?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's not the moldy mud house anymore. Now it's like this. It's almost like it's crazy. Like they totally decored it.
You know what I always wanted to do? Like,
I hear
this
you,
big,
D-Bugs.
the big statue of Father Junipero Serra up there at that rest area
Oh, dude.
where he's kneeling and he's pointing. I always wanted to make a giant paper mache yo-yo and hang it off his finger.
Oh,
Like from the time I was a little kid, I always thought like one day I'm gonna make a yo-yo and go hang it from the finger of that statue. I've never done it, but I will.
Somebody had to have done something though, right?
I don't know.
That's
I'm
a good one. Let's do it.
I'm surprised it's still there because the whole cancel culture thing. Like the Spanish came here and ruined everything. Like yet all the Spanish stuff is still around. It's crazy, right?
Emerald Hills. That's where I learned to golf, Anthony. 9-hole up in Emerald Hills. Super fun time. All par threes. The first hole, you can use your putter and just hit it about 5 feet, and then it goes downhill and goes right onto the green. Oh, man, that's a good time up there. They got a guy in a cart that's just driving around selling beers. There's probably no grass. It's just all weed. It's a great spot. Crystal Springs, a little more high end. That's a little more high end.
Yeah, I ran some cross country races up by Crystal Springs back in high school.
You can see some mountain lions, like wildlife up there.
Rattlesnakes too.
Yeah,
there's quite a few up there. So, anyways, well, I think we just about run it out for the night. Yeah,
we ran it out for tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow. So spread the word. We need 20 or more in the chat, and we got big giveaways. Big giveaways. I can't even tell you what they are, but they're big. And tomorrow, 3 dudes, 1 cup, 4 dudes, 1 position, 5 dudes is a menage a cinco. I don't know. We're going to figure this out.
we
So
will.
tune back in with us. If you're up early, see me in the chat on the KMBR site in the morning. We have a little bit of fun and try to poke fun at Murph and give young Tone his flowers because he's holding it down in there with the older guys. They're just giving him so much shit. Like, this young guy doesn't even know who Depeche Mode is. It's like,
Yeah, it sounds like I want to jump in there in the morning and see what's going on.
I mean, you gotta just take the good. It's the way you look at things, right? Like you could say it's all shitty, or you could say I'm gonna make fun of it. So I've just decided I gotta start my mornings out good. So no matter what, I'm just going to turn whatever the thing is into something fun. And then I can get to work and feel like my day started happily.
Yeah. And we're under the 3-week mark for the opening of the season.
So what is the exact date? March 26th?
Yeah,
is that
one of
right?
the last days of the month. I think it's the 26th.
March
It's coming up
and
quick.
So today's the 5th. So we're 3 weeks, right? 21 days.
Yep.
Oh boy. If you guys want to be the last member of our fantasy baseball league, email me. That's skatesonbase@gmail.com. And we'll get you in and we're going to have a lot of fun. We're probably going to try to make an episode out of the draft. And I just want to have a little community where we can talk about exactly what we want it to be more so, and we can make some changes if we need to, or just I've done it a couple of times where people are just like in the draft and then you never hear from them again. And I think it'll be cool that we have this platform that we can, maybe we have Wednesday night fantasy league talks or something where it's like once a week we kind of just catch up and be like, hey dude, how long are you going to hold on to Ohtani? You got 5 million stolen bases, trade that fucker, whatever. So if you got $20, that's the entrance fee. And there's 3 winners. Third place, you get your $20 back. Second place, $60. First place, $120. So it's not tons of money, but it's kind of a little incentive and it should be lots of fun.
Yeah.
Can't sell it any more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Stoked.
And Anthony, I want to meet you. So let's meet up at a Giants game or something. You got so much Bay Area knowledge and stuff. You've been here a long time. I'd be excited to hear about your commercial fishing, man, because we're all into fishing. We're starting Skaters on Fishing apparently. That's our next project. But I think we've done it, kids. It's 8:23, so we went an hour 23. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody.
Some other people's channels as well. It's a good one.
Yep. Tim McKinney killing it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
I guess we're going to be out of here and we'll see you tomorrow night, probably 6:30, 6:45 or 7, just depending on how our day's going. But we'll put a thing up in the YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. It helps. Like, I think if you haven't subscribed and you do subscribe, we'll probably hit 20 in the chat tomorrow. So think of it like that. Tell your mom, tell your wife, tell your kids, subscribe. Skaters on Baseball.
Thanks, everybody. We're out of here.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skaters on Baseball. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word. Give us a good review, or hell, blow us up on your social media if you're down. Follow us at Skates on Base on Instagram for baseball news and other fun stuff. We love comments and listener participation, so bring it with an audio clip or an email. You can email us at skatersonbase@gmail.com. We're everywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll be here all season long.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
I'm excited to give everything that I have for these next 6 seasons and, see where it takes us.
Adios, Pelota!
See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.